Dear listener, it's 1986 and odd things are happening once again in the town of Hawkins, Indiana. Teenagers are victims of a curse caused by what we later know as Vecna. Joyce and Murray are off in Russia trying to get Hopper back. Elle, on the other hand, is in California trying to regain her powers. Who and what can save the town now? Perhaps Dustin and his wits? Kate Bush's running up that hill? Listen as we discuss our thoughts on one of the best Stranger Things seasons yet. Sincerely yours, The Shrinking Violets. Hi, this is April.
And this is Lourdes.
And we're The Shrinking Violets.
And this chapter is chapter 19. Ain't no stranger things than this season.
Yes.
So if you can't guess, we're going to be talking about the last season of Stranger Things. And we're coming to you from the Rainbow Room.
Yes. Ooh, spooky.
Yeah, and we're also gonna we're gonna answer some questions. And what else are we gonna do, April?
I'm just gonna go over, so the first part of this episode, I'm just gonna go over some of the references, like
Yes.
the 80s references in this season. So we can just talk about those for a little bit.
Yes.
So the first few seasons that we've had references to movies that because they're really inspired by 80s movies.
Yeah.
And they were E.T., Firestarter, Stand By Me, The Goonies, The Thing, and Poltergeist.
Yes.
And then this season, so I went in the New York Times, they did an article, and it's talking about all the 80s references in season 4. And one of the ones that they listed is Alien 3. I don't recall anything from Alien 3, but apparently it's like when Hopper is kind of rallying all the inmates to fight that's a Demogorgon, right?
Yes.
Okay. To fight it. And then we also got the Amityville Horror 1975. That's this thing that happened where like the Lutz family moved into a home in Amityville, New York, which is the site of like some brutal kind of murder. And then Ronald something, whatever his name was, shot and killed 6 members of his family there. And then they fled less than a month later.
Yeah.
And he said that there was a house that was haunted. So that obviously reflects the Creel family murders.
Yeah.
And actually the design of the house is like the same as to the Amityville home. And if you see the family video store where Robin and Steve work, you see a VHS copy of the first film. There's also a lot of references to like Carrie, I guess. Just how 11's getting bullied, just like Carrie.
That's true. That's true.
Bullied. Yeah. And obviously 11 kind of like lashes out, but not in the same way that Carrie did.
Yeah.
And then we also have Fast Times at Ridgemont High. So it's kind of like a coming of age stoner movie.
Yeah.
And that is like represented by
Argyle.
Yeah.
Argyle, what a name.
And then we have Halloween. Victor Creel is kind of seen as this urban legend in Hawkins, just like Michael Myers.
Yeah.
A Nightmare on Elm Street, that's the one that I saw the most.
Yeah.
Talking about kind of like this immortal kind of being who can enter people's minds and kill them in that way. And even the actor who plays Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund, he is Victor Creel. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And also Chrissy, you know how she like gets flung up to the ceiling?
Yes.
And Eddie's trailer?
Yes.
It's kind of mimics the death of the character Tina Dustin in the movie A Nightmare on Elm Street. And there's also kind of like by Dustin, he suggests that 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 Vecna has probably his own like boiler room, just
No.
like Freddy Krueger,
Yeah.
which is kind of like his mental layer where he can be like defeated.
Yeah.
I also saw Silence of the Lambs when Robin and Nancy went to go meet Victor Creel,
Yeah.
and the guard is telling them like, okay, just like be careful, and takes them
Yeah.
down into like this thing so they can interview him. And then it's very
Yeah.
kind of like Clarice, because she went to go interview Hannibal Lecter, right?
You know
That's his
what's
name.
funny is
Yeah,
that I never watched that movie. I've never watched the whole thing,
yeah.
but I remember that scene.
Okay, yeah. So you get like that reference there.
Yeah.
We also have War Games. So
Yeah.
it's about a young hacker who accessed like US military computer
Hmm.
that is programmed to simulate and predict and execute a nuclear war against the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
So not only like did they name drop War Games,
Yeah.
but also that's kind of like what when Mike and all of them went to go see Susie, and she's like super computer whiz.
Yeah. Yeah. I watched that movie like once ever.
Yeah, same. And then of course we get to Dungeons and Dragons being
Yeah.
kind of the backdrop of this whole season,
The
I'd say,
whole, yeah.
because they're playing out what a quest would be in Dungeons and Dragons, right?
Yes.
And it's not the first time, like obviously in season one, they called Demogorgon because of
Hmm.
the a creature in Dungeons and Dragons,
Hmm.
and the same they call Vecna another D&D monster name.
Yeah.
And when they're talking about D&D and how like, oh, these people think, Eddie's like, oh, they think that we're some sort of like maniacs and we're
Yeah.
bad kids because we play D&D.
And that they
There
like
what Yeah,
it's
so
a
there
seance
wasn't
and
an article that like the one that he showed, I believe it was him that shows that.
hmm.
It was more like a TV segment that happened in the mid 80s because there was a
Yeah.
craze about it being not so good for kids.
Yeah.
There was in 1982, there was a student, Irving Lee Pulling. He died after shooting himself.
Oh no.
Yeah, so in the Washington Post article, they said that he was troubled, like he didn't fit in, and I guess maybe he kind of was bullied or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But his mother said that it was caused by playing D&D. So obviously there was more to his story. It was more complex than just, a game.
Yeah.
But and another like a classmate said that he had a lot of problems that weren't really associated to that. But the mom, Patricia Pullings, she attempted to sue the principal,
Hmm.
claiming that the curse was placed on her son's character during a game
Oh
run by the
no.
principal.
Oh no.
She also sued the publishers of D&D, despite the court like dismissing the cases and everything. She
Hmm.
actually created like a campaign and formed the bothered about Dungeons and Dragons. In other words, BADD.
Ah.
Yeah, and she described D&D as being like filled with witchcraft, voodoo, murder,
Hmm.
blasphemy, insanity, barbarism, cannibalism,
Oh wow.
just a bunch of other stuff,
Hmm.
necromantics. I thought that was cool.
Hmm.
And so they did like an intensive like media campaign, of course, with paired with Christian, groups and everything.
Yeah.
And that they did a 60 minutes episode about D&D.
Yeah.
And the creator was on that too. So they were kind of like,
Defending.
yeah, like that. But yeah, So we got a lot of cool 80s movies references and maybe the whole D&D
We did.
craze.
And like watching Stranger Things feels like, reading Ready Player One, how we get
Yes.
so much and you're just like, oh, I know that and I know that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And then we're not even like 80s babies, but
No,
we obviously it's out there. We know about this pop culture stuff.
exactly.
So it's always fun to like point it out and be like, "Oh yeah, I know that."
Yeah.
But that was about it that I wanted to
Woo.
talk about. I thought it was kind of cool to look back at what inspired Stranger Things.
Yes. Because the whole everything, all the seasons have all been inspired by 80s things. And we know we love 80s movies, and it's like they get all the good parts and put it into this series. It's so good.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I think now we're ready to answer some questions,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Ooh, so that means we're going to be transformed somewhere else.
Yes. Pew, 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 pew.
Ah, scary. This is so cool.
I walked the wrong way.
Oh my gosh. Wait, are we stuck again? Oh, okay. Are you the
Stuck?
dungeon master?
Yes, I'm the dungeon master.
Okay. Let me see. Where can I sit? Oh, maybe in this one.
Yes.
Hold
see?
Hold up. Yeah.
I turned on the lights.
I've got a map.
Yes. I even made a golden throne for the dungeon master.
Wow.
Also, look at the creepy spotlight I put on that thing.
Yes. Perfect.
The best
I'm
thing
just trying
I've
to admire everything here.
I even put a map and
I like the sock on the floor.
Yes. I'm like, oh yeah.
Trash.
Because what I understood from this room is that it was like a drama club back
Yeah, like just filled with
closet or something.
Yeah.
So
I love the map. I don't think I've ever seen the map.
I've had it for a while. I don't even know. Oh, it must have come. I think it came from the bird. I can't remember. Okay. So we will now start. Oh yeah. So we are in my dungeon room. Dungeon room. Dungeons and Dragons room.
And you are the dungeon master.
I'm the dungeon master, so I don't even know what that entails.
You basically like lead the story.
I lead the story.
So you're gonna lead the questions.
Yes. So question number 1. What did you expect coming into this season?
Ooh, okay. So I'll go first. Honestly, I thought that there was gonna be ghosts.
Really?
Yeah. I thought there was gonna be like more ghost stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe because I was mixing like Ghostbusters with Stranger Things.
Oh.
You know how Mike was in Ghostbusters?
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah. But I did sense that it was going to be scarier than the previous seasons.
Yeah.
More kind of like, I mean, it's always been horror, but there's also a lot of like sci-fi kind of elements in there, but I thought it was just going to be more horror based, I guess.
Yeah. I for sure knew that they were going to be focusing on getting Hopper out of Russia. I knew that, but I was hoping, and because from every season I was hoping there would be funny parts, and Joyce, and also I was hoping to see Joyce being a mom to Elle.
But yeah.
We didn't get that, and we also didn't get as many funny parts as all the other seasons. So
right, I noticed that too.
Yeah, so that's what I was hoping for, but didn't really get. But I didn't really mind too much.
No, me neither.
Yeah. Okay. How was the season different from the rest, and did you like the tone of it?
Like from my first answer to the first question, I did think that it was like scarier. I don't think that they were holding back on the visuals at all.
Yeah.
There was a lot of blood and the bone cracking. I feel like that's the first time that when I'm watching the show, that
Yeah.
I've had to kind of like cover my eyes a little bit.
Cover, yes, me as well. It was definitely scarier. And me and my sister watched the first two episodes at night, and we said no, the next episodes we're not watching them at night.
Yeah.
Even though we were covering half the screen for those bone crunching parts, and
Oh yeah.
so it was. I'm not a big fan of creepy, scary movies, even though I still sometimes watch them anyways, like Guillermo del Toro. I'll still watch it because I know it's good.
Yeah.
So like I didn't hate it, but it wasn't my favorite, but I didn't hate it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like I can't say I'm oh I loved it or something, um but it was cool. It was different,
It
right?
was different. It was different.
But yeah, it's still in the same.
Yeah.
You knew you were watching Stranger Things, you know.
Yes. Yes. So number three, new characters were introduced. Did you have any favorite or favorites?
So I do like the character of Eddie. I just wish that there was I don't know. I
Any
wish that there
more?
was gonna be, yeah, like more Eddie and Chrissy. I
Oh
thought that
yeah.
there was a lot there, and
Yes.
obviously it didn't happen.
No.
I feel like we really needed kind of his personality type,
Yeah.
and he just looks super 80s. I don't know.
He
You
does.
know, like it's so crazy how 80s he looks.
He looks like he came from there. Like he went into a time machine and came.
Yeah. And then we've got Argyle, who is
Yeah.
honestly the same guy from Booksmart. Let's
Oh,
just because he's a Chase.
yes. Yes. I was
He's
telling
exactly the same.
I was telling my brother and sister that I'm like, okay, he's cool, but he's the same character every time.
Yeah.
So
And then Dimitri, he's kind of cool too. He brings like an interesting dynamic with Hopper.
yeah, that was interesting.
Um,
Without
and
him,
yeah,
it would kind of probably be kind of boring.
boring. Yeah,
Right? More, yeah.
totally.
Yeah, I liked Eddie too. I hated him at first because I thought he was going to be like a bad influence. But when he spoke to Steve about how much Dustin looked up to him, I thought
Yeah.
that was so sweet. And I'm like, I kind
Yeah.
of like him now. So yeah, I think out of everyone, Eddie was my favorite new character. And I guess there's also the Jimmy Kimmel Bauer character. He was three characters. He was Henry, Peter, and Vecna.
Yeah. He was great. Like
He
he's
was
a
so
great
good
villain. Like exactly.
because the whole time I was like, do I trust him? Yeah, I trust him. He looks nice. And I'm like, wait, no, I don't trust him. And then I'm like, yeah, I do trust him.
And then
Like,
like,
yeah,
yeah, he's cool. And then I'm like, wait a minute.
wait.
I don't know. He did a great
He did
job.
such a good job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Number four, what storyline did you enjoy the most and the least? And then did you have a favorite scene?
Okay. I think Max's storyline was my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
I think because it talks about, you know, like dealing with grief and family.
Yeah.
And I read an article how the show has so much violence and so much death
Yeah.
that it's kind of glossed over. You know, it kind of glosses over death and
Yes.
loss. And so in this season, we're actually able to see Max, through Max, kind of like how a character deals with loss,
Yeah.
and how the friends support this character, and support each other in general, and understand how someone can be affected by it.
Yeah.
So I think like it, not that the other seasons didn't deal with something so like deep, because obviously there has been.
Yeah.
But I feel like in this one, it shows that it's not just like a fun kind of show.
Yeah.
You know, it can teach some lessons.
Yeah. And I felt with Max, I'm
Yeah.
glad that they showed that, but with Elle, they just kind of showed it a little bit, obviously, because then she was thrown into her own story, but she also was grieving for Hopper, and
Right.
we saw how they she was treated for that. That was
Yeah,
sad.
I know. That really made me so mad. And
Ugh,
I'm like, how is it that nobody is defending her? Like,
nobody is defending her.
how, not even the
Yeah.
teacher. I kept on pointing out all the bad things that the teacher was
Uh-huh.
doing. I was like, nope, bad teacher. Nope, bad
Yeah.
teacher.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then the least I would say Joyce and Murray. Murray? Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't it was
Yeah.
fun, but
It
it,
was
it wasn't my like favorite part
yeah.
of it.
Yeah. For me, my favorite part was the California squad, seeing
Oh, okay.
them. But we didn't get enough of them, and
No.
also it it ended so soon. Um,
Yeah.
and we never like got any more scenes from them in the last few episodes, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that storyline was definitely the most funny. And then my least, so I just went with funny, and the least, like, I was fine with it, obviously, because it was giving me more story. But all of Elle's part in the lab, it was always like very like, what's happening? This is uncomfortable. But it was
Yeah.
necessary to the story. We were
Right.
gonna get answers from this storyline. But I was always happy when they would go back to the California people.
Yeah, I like the change in the lighting. Obviously, like California, you think, oh, warm and sunny and
Yeah,
everything, but you can totally tell the way that they did that.
yeah.
I didn't say a favorite scene because
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't think of one. I mean, there's just so many cool
There
scenes.
were a lot of them, but I think my most favorite scene was when what's his face, Henry Peter Vecna,
Hmm.
is giving his like villain speech and telling us the whole story. That part, so
Oh,
good. I was
yes.
at the edge of my seat. I'm like, it's happening, it's
That
happening.
one's I love those type of like scenes though, and just in
Yeah,
movies.
yeah.
I know that you're not a fan of
I am
villain
not a
speeches.
fan of villain speeches. I usually hate villain speeches. But so when I say I like a villain speech, it really means something because it means it was really good. And this
Yeah,
one was so good.
so good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So number 5. Will, it seems like he can never catch a break. What do you make of his character from what we've seen in this last season?
So I thought poor Will was forgotten this season. And I think I want to say that it's done on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're probably going to find something out.
Yes.
There's a lot of
A
speculation
lot of it.
that Will is gay. And there people are saying like, oh, he's in love with Mike or something.
Yeah, the
Um,
the speculation is that he's gay and he's pining for Mike.
yeah.
Also, he made a painting, and we don't
Yes.
know what it is, and
Right.
everybody assumes that it was something for Mike too.
Yeah. And then I think I saw something that it says that his person that he chose to do his project on
Oh,
was what's his name? I don't remember what his name is, but he's like some pioneer in like modern computers, and
yeah.
the guy was gay.
Mhm.
I think like Benedict Cumberbatch played him in a movie.
Oh,
So
oh, from the hold on, it's called the. I was thinking about this movie the other day. Ah, I can't remember
yeah,
what it's called.
I can't remember it either, but I remember I saw something that
Yeah.
somebody pointed that out.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, so who knows, what
Yeah,
direction they take,
yeah.
but
And
and I
also,
yeah.
I showed you the thing that I saw on TikTok that the beginning of the show of the season starts a day before his birthday. And his birthday is on the day in which they are on in the roller rink. So like the whole time you see him be sad and like waiting for like something, but it never comes. Nobody
Yeah.
nobody remembered his
Remembers his
birthday.
birthday. Oh my
So of
gosh, it's
course he's
terrible.
sad. Of course. Oh my God, poor Will.
Poor Will. Yeah, especially because the show honestly was started because of
Because of
him.
him. But
Yeah.
like, and I've seen from every season, it focuses the least on Will for some
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Once he came back,
You're
It,
like, okay, cool. Moving on.
so I mean, this will go on into my predictions, so I won't say it yet.
Okay.
Okay, so number 6. Let me see. Sorry. Number 6. What do you wish there was more of in this season?
I always wish that there's more Steve
Ooh,
because
yeah.
he's always been kind of my favorite.
Yeah.
However, I don't want Steve and Nancy. I don't want that.
Okay.
I think it's wrong because
Yeah.
she's technically with
With
somebody
somebody
else.
else.
And so there's no need for me to be like, oh my gosh, it's so cute. Yes, I want it to happen. No,
Yeah.
it's cheating.
Yeah. Yeah.
So please don't.
Don't
No,
do
I
it.
didn't think that it needed to go in that direction, to
Yeah.
be honest.
Yeah. I just wish for more funny. But
Yeah.
I understand why it's not as funny as other seasons. So
Yeah.
okay, number 7. The truth is finally revealed in the last 30
Yeah.
minutes. Did you see it
Yes.
coming? And does it make sense? And what were your feelings?
It makes sense to me.
Yes.
I honestly did not see it coming. So
Uh-huh.
to me, that's always a plus.
Yeah.
If I don't see it coming and it's just kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I think that's what good writing is, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's all I wrote down for that.
Me and my brother called it, like, we knew that what's his face was Vecna, but I did not see it coming that he was also Henry, the boy from the house.
Right.
I did not see that coming. Oh, and we also sort of saw it coming that he was number 1 as well. Oh my God, he's number 1, Peter, Henry, and Vecna. Seriously.
Yeah, number 1 for sure. I saw that part coming. But him being the boy, like, my what?
That was freaking crazy. How everything just connected so beautifully.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, the story was written so well.
Yeah.
Okay, number 8. Anything else about the story that you want to talk about?
If you want to go ahead and get started while I find my other notes.
Yeah, so you already mentioned this before, but Nancy and Steve, I wrote, what is happening? They are laying it on thick. I feel like they're going to be endgame, like the writers want it to happen. Like, why are they laying it on thick?
Yeah, exactly.
But do I want it to happen? I don't know. I'm confused. I don't know what I want.
So I do want to say that I was annoyed by Lucas.
Yes.
A good chunk of it.
Yeah.
Because screw being popular. Like, it's all about your friends.
Yeah.
But I get it. He's a teenager. Also, you know what I thought, like, as I was watching it? What happens to all the, like, the corpses of, like, the demodogs and the demogorgons and, like, who does the cleaning?
That is a good question.
Like, the people don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But who's cleaning this up?
Who's cleaning all the weird shit up?
Like,
it's probably the government people who are, like, on top of that stuff. You know what? I think that's what it is.
Okay.
You know those government people who are listening in on all of their conversations?
Yeah.
They're the ones cleaning.
They're like, let me just clean up the chunks at the mall.
Your what is it? Job title, cleaning up the alien shit.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. I like the use of music, but we'll get to that later.
Yes.
I think one thing is that I didn't like is, you know how the officer guy died in their house and they're transporting him and he died in the van.
Yeah.
Or got shot in the house, died in the van. And then they just buried him. I thought it was very like, okay, let's just bury him. That's a very like traumatic thing.
Yeah.
For them to just be like, oh, let's just bury him here. Like, they're teenagers and burying a body.
They're little babies.
Yes, I thought that was so weird.
Yeah, it was pretty weird. Yes.
But yeah, I think that was mostly it.
That's it. Okay. Okay, so prediction time. What are your predictions for the last 2 episodes?
Ooh, so I honestly think that they're gonna leave it open-ended. Yeah. Because this magical world, we know that it exists, right?
Yeah.
So this can't be the only thing that is happening.
Oh yeah. Like it's only happening in Hawkins.
Yeah, exactly. So like, and then what about the other, the other kids that also had
Yeah.
superpowers or,
Yeah.
Something. So I think it's gonna be sort of like a, when they cuts to something right at the end.
Yeah, like something else happening. Like
Yeah.
it could possibly be a spin-off, but it probably won't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my predictions are definitely that Elle will have to defeat Vecna since she started it all. Um, who knows how she'll do that? Oh, I don't even remember what happens in season 2 with those kids, but I put maybe the kids from season 2 will come back to help. I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
Because one of the questions that me and my brother and sister had were, when did they leave? Because they clearly were not in the kids
Right.
that died.
Yeah.
During the time that Vecna was created. And then we will finally, Will finally show us what the heck he painted.
Uh-huh.
And then Joyce and Hopper will get together.
Yeah.
And then Nancy and Steve will possibly be endgame, but who knows?
Gosh.
And then I'm extremely afraid that Elle will die.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yes. And
like
then
it has to happen. Like it's written that it will.
It's very possible. I feel like it's possible. Somebody has to die. Somebody always dies.
People are saying that it's gonna be Steve.
No.
Yeah.
I'd be more upset about Steve or Elle. It's kind of sad. So to go off on that, what you said of the other kids, like why is Hawkins the only place showing? Why are these kids getting these powers, and why is it happening in Hawkins? So me and my brother and sister heard something in this last season. Hopper was talking about how he was in the war and they were dealing with chemicals, and it's probably the reason that his daughter died of some sort of cancer or whatever.
Yeah.
We are kind of putting things together, and it feels to us that something to do with the war ended up leaving with the parents and is affecting these kids to have these weird abilities from chemicals, from something in the war. Somewhere something is happening, and
like a Chernobyl kind of thing, but with superpowers or something.
Yes, something like that. So that's what we think.
So I like that.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
And
that's why I think it's gonna be like an open-ended ending.
Oh my god. A whole school for mutants will be created.
X-Men.
And I accidentally saw what the titles of the next 2 episodes will be.
No. Okay, what is it?
So chapter 8 is called Papa.
Okay.
Yeah. And chapter 9 is called The Piggyback. So I wonder what that means.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Papa will probably show more of the dude's like why he's doing this, perhaps.
Yeah.
We need answers.
Yes.
Why
I
is this
want
happening?
Answers now.
Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? The whole time I felt like he was a bad guy, but like I don't know, it's so weird. It's just so
I have
gray.
no idea.
And who knows what the piggyback means? I have no clue.
They're gonna piggyback off into the sunset.
Yeah, and that's about it. Okay, so number 10. Okay, what are 3 songs that will save you from Vecna's curse?
Okay, so here's the thing. This was very hard to think. I couldn't think of some for me.
Yeah.
I couldn't even think of some for other people.
Yeah.
I think if other people were to try to save me, they'd be like, oh, her favorite band. So they'd pick Interpol, they pick Vampire Weekend, Beirut. However, I couldn't find any songs within those that are kind of like, yes, they would save me, but they're not cinematic in the sense that like I can picture myself running through whatever that thing was and try to get into that magical, portal thing. So not that these next ones are cinematic, but I feel that I don't know, they would work.
Yeah.
So I actually thought of four.
Yeah.
And it was the first one was She and Him's cover of God Only Knows.
Oh yeah.
And then number two is Beach House Space Song.
Yeah.
Number three was Death Cab for Cutie's Marching Bands of Manhattan.
Cool.
And then number four was Sleeping Lessons by the Shins.
And I don't know how these sound at the top of my head, but I will look them up.
We could create a playlist.
Yes, let's do that. Yes. I would if you were cursed and I was the one who had to know, I would not know. And you would die.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's a good thing we're making a playlist just in case.
Yes, just in case. You never know.
My songs are so one of them is so stupid, but but it was like a song that I would listen to on repeat, and it still hasn't gotten old to me, even though it got old very quickly to everyone else. But my first song is "Call Me Maybe" by Carly Jones.
Hey, I just met you.
Yep, exactly. It totally put me out of trance and into another trance.
Yeah, exactly. You start dancing.
My other song is called Paper Rings by Taylor Swift.
Okay, I knew it was going to be some
upbeat. It was between Paper Rings and All Too Well, the 10-minute version, because it's 10 minutes long, and that'll definitely
hold you up for a bit.
Yeah, for a bit. And my last one is Pool by Paramore from their last album. That one's like one of my favorite songs from their last album. And like sometimes when it comes on my car radio thing, I'll like keep just playing it, and like once it's done I'll play it again, and once it's done I'll play it again. So
I don't think I know how that one sounds like, so we'll definitely need to
make a playlist.
Yeah, a playlist.
Yes, and I'll link it down once
you can probably add one more, that way we're a total of 8 songs.
Yes
awesome.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
This is a good season. I'm sad it's gonna end because they said that this is the last season.
Yeah, but then I said that I read that that some people say that it might not be the last one. But I'm like, you can't do that to me. You can't just
because like if there were more after this, they would be college students by then, because they're all like basically college age now.
Yeah, and I don't think the actors want to keep doing it, right? Like maybe some of them do, but probably some want to just move on.
Yeah, or spin-off, who knows?
A spin-off. Yeah.
But oh my god, this started in 2016, I think. It's been going on for some time. It's crazy.
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah,
it's just I just like it so much.
It's so good. Yep,
that's it, right?
That's it.
Cool.
I guess it's time to say goodbye.
Goodbye, friends. Don't get under a Vecna's curse.
And we'll see you when the next 2 episoes come out, and we get to talk about that. That'll be on July 1st. A few days before July 4th. By July 4th, we're going to be talking about it. I'm so excited.
Bye.
Bye.